Sack Life Beat Depression. It's day 805 and we're staying alive with another somatic healing session to wipe out depression. Thank you so much, everybody, for being here now. Anyone who's tuning in later, appreciate you guys and girls out there. And as you know, it is a martial arts for mental health show. We like to focus in on those mental health tools first, and one of the tools that I use every single day and that has been helping me maintain a positive state of mind even as I'm going through stresses and going through life's challenges is that powerful mental health tool of gratitude. The more we use it, the easier it becomes to find those silver linings in life right through the hard times. So today, I want to think about my gratitude section. My gratitude is going out to Century Martial Arts for providing so much support out here. They donated me this shirt. They sent me some sweet gloves, which I'll be using today to take my workout to the next level. The Century Drive Series gloves, very cool, very good feeling on the heavy bag, a lot of nice rebound there, get you in a good flow, nice gel padding, good conditioning on the knuckles. So I'm going to be using them today to enhance the intensity of our shadow boxing routine, and if you've got a pair of gloves at home, you can do that as well. Even 16 ounce, 14 ounce, or 12 ounce gloves, doesn't sound like a lot of weight, will make a tremendous difference in the workout that you get during that shadow boxing routine. And you'll want to drive that speed down a little bit, work a little more on muscle control and just proper form if you are using weights so that you don't hyperextend or don't throw anything out. Gloves are a great way to do that. So I want to shout out gratitude to Century for all their support. For Bob, for the Bob that we won through Century Europe, Century Martial Arts Europe division. So thank you so much for the Bob. Thank you for the martial arts shoes, which I put to good use, for the gloves, for the clothes, and for all of your support in helping us raise awareness and empower others with free mental health tools. To Century Martial Arts, you're my gratitude section today. Also, as always, I want to shout out gratitude to everybody in here now and anyone who's tuning in later. Shout out to Lisa the Luminary, Heather Bell, Wu Qing Wei, Sal Albano, Missy Chaffo, When Roses Blossom, Tiago Robinson. Thank you so much, everybody. That's a lot of people for the beginning of the show. Appreciate you all. Thank you so much for tuning in. So, you are all part of my gratitude section. Go ahead and think about your gratitude section, and that'll help put you in a positive mindset as we move into today's lesson. Studies have shown even if you can't find something to be grateful for, simply asking yourself the question, what am I grateful for today, can have a positive impact on that brain, helping rebalance those chemicals and restabilize that serotonin level. If you are dealing with depression, you know, serotonin is one of the big factors that contributes to those negative thoughts depression kind of spits out at us. So anything we can do to boost that serotonin level, get it back to balance, gratitude tool is a very easy one we can use all the time. You don't even have to find the answer to it. Just ask yourself the question. Let's do it. Think about your gratitude section. All right, that's mental health tool number one. Mental health tool number two is progress tracking so that you can accurately give yourself the credit that you deserve. A lot of people out there, including myself, fell into or have fallen into or are dealing with right now a victim mentality. And that's normal. That is normal to feel that way. We were built to focus on stresses. We were built to focus on anxieties as part of our survival instinct. But when we get caught up in too much of that, too much focus on that negative, we can wind up with that imbalance, and we can start to feel like life is just beating us up all the time. We can feel like probably what Bob would feel like if he was a real person, just constantly taking shots, you know? But the truth is that each one of those shots can actually make us stronger. Each one of those shots can be proof that you are still in the game, that you are rolling with the punches, you're learning how to handle those stresses that life's giving you, and you're overcoming all those lies that depression or anxiety would like to sell you, such as you can't get out of bed this morning, or you can't do this, you can't do that, you can't, whatever those thoughts are that are running through your head, keeping track of your daily progress will help you overcome those thoughts and give yourself a real life physical anchor back into reality, back into the strength and endurance that you have shown over these last X amount of days. There's been 805 days of consecutive training for me through sickness and health. That's 805 days of proof that I'm stronger than the debilitating effects of depression, just as a matter of fact, because we are up on our feet, we are fighting forwards, which means we're not laying in bed debilitated. So please do keep track of that progress. Another side note, just on a personal level, and this has helped some other people as well, this is also a good reminder that it's been 805 days since I dealt with any suicidal ideation. And before that, It was creeping in slowly but surely until it became the only thing that I could think about, and I wound up in a hospital. So knowing that it's been 805 days since I've had a single thought of suicidal ideation makes me happy to be alive, makes me happy about now, happy about the moment, makes me look forward to the next 805 days without suicidal ideation. So if you're dealing with those things out there, know that there are many ways forward. There are many different tools that we can tap into. All we got to do is find the ones that work for us. So please do keep track of your progress. And if you're making progress, please do share it with the world, because you can help inspire others and be that change that we want to see, improving both our lives and our environment and the lives of others around us. So please do share your progress. It's been 805 days for Zachman. Let me know how many days it's been for you. That is the progress tracking tool. We talked about the gratitude tool. Now let's get into today's lesson a little bit. It is 105 days for Lisa the Luminary out there. Thank you, Lisa, so much for your consistency. For over a year, 365, over a year of progress, on track to 2 years, just out there grinding every day, hitting those milestones. Most important thing is that you give yourself credit for that, so we can break ourselves out of that victim mentality and show ourselves how strong you are. Give yourself credit for 505 days of consistent progress and endurance, consistent success. So, thank you, Lisa. Now let's talk about the lesson a little bit. I mentioned earlier, I'm going to be wearing the gloves. That'll take my intensity up. We're also going to talk a little bit about long guard today. Long guard is a good technique you can use in sparring. Keep your enemy at a distance. Keep your opponent at a distance. Could be your friend if you're practicing techniques. But to keep them at a distance so they can't use all those close range tools, all those hands that we use, those dangerous hands, right? We can use a long guard approach. And we do this from our balanced Muay Thai stance, just like that, turning through the shoulders. Bringing that shoulder up acts as kind of a partial guard, partial defense, tucking the chin in to that shoulder. We're now covered on the side, almost as if we had a kind of a low glove position. So that's going to add a lot of defense there. We're also twisting through. We're extending that fist out front. And we want to keep a little bit of bend still in that elbow. You don't want to go full post. Now you can use full post for other things, but for the sake of today's lesson, don't go full post on them. We're going to stick that hand out, but leave a little bit of room there so that you can twist through and add a little pop and do a little surprise jab if it becomes available. So we're going to keep that shoulder rolled up, right? Hand out in front of us, guard nice and high. And this is called long guard. Now the opposite hand is going to be more important now. You want to make sure you're keeping a guard here. You can turn in just like we do for slips. If something's coming at you on this side, you can turn in. You can also bring this hand back if you're taking a kick. Bring this hand back to stop that kick on this side. If you're taking a kick on the other side, we're going to slip like we would with our head movement and shoulder movement. And we're just going to bring this hand around. Boom. Block that kick on the opposite side. Those are for head kicks only. Body kicks, you are exposed, but again, you'll know in your mind, all right, that's their long-range weapon. That's their only option, really. If they're going to come in for that roundhouse kick or that long body kick, you're going to see it going. You're going to see that footwork happening, that step out, that step in. So you'll be able to plan and then evade. So a lot of different strategies can come into play when we start switching up that guard and mixing up our routine. For us in here, we're focused on that mental health training and getting that physical somatic release. So you don't have to worry too much about all the technicals. The important thing, get in motion, learn some of these tools, and then if you want to take them to the next level, get yourself in an area where you can pressure test them with friends in a safe, controlled environment like Jai Su. Shout out to Jai Su as well. Gratitude to Jai Su for their support the other day and allowing me to come share their space and enjoy their awesome program with Coach Miguel and Coach Brian. Check them out there. If you're in the New Jersey, Lyndhurst, North Arlington area, really cool space. Had an awesome time. Can't understate that enough. So we're talking about long guard. We're going to switch back and forth between regular guard or regular stance. We'll throw that jab and cross, right, those fundamentals. And then we'll switch into long guard. And we'll toss a jab from long guard. Step in for the jab, right? Small step in, still the same. Boom. Giving us a little extra distance. We're going to throw a cross from long guard position. That long guard can act as a good targeting tool and a good distance finder, right? Because the hand's already out. We know if we can just about touch him with this hand, then our cross is going to go right through, right through Bob's face. Check it out. Hands fully extended, right? My lead hand's fully extended. in the long guard, and when I rotate for cross, boom, I'm inside Bob's face. So that's kind of the beauty of the technique and the proper stance. You can use this hand to give that opponent a false sense of security. They're going to think, hey, he can't reach me. His arm's all the way out. And then, bang, surprise, your fist is in their face. So that's one. We'll be switching back and forth, jab, cross, long guard, add the cross in there. And we're going to use the teep a little bit. Since this is such a good range finder, we know our longest range weapons, like our kicks, are going to be able to reach if our hand can almost reach. So we're going to keep that long guard out. And with the long guard out, we're going to bring the lead knee up for a lead teep, and we're going to drive whoosh, through the hips, and then back to stance. Whoosh, through the hips. Now you want to, ideally, all those other training times that we were tossing that lead teep, we chop the arm, right? Chop the arm for balance and strength. Here, you want to kind of keep that post out. You can still chop the arm, but you want to really make contact and get that opponent away before you drop that guard. So it'll take time and practice. You can practice with Bob. Bob's a great training tool for technical stuff. So with the long guard, I can almost touch Bob, right? That means my teep's definitely going to reach. Boom, teep's there. Now when I go to push and leverage, that's when I'm going to chop the arm. Whoosh, as I drive Bob away through the hips. And I'm going to let the shoulders go back and the hips move forwards to generate even more force there. So, those are our different techniques. Might be a little technical today. We will carry you through at a relatively steady pace. Remember, control that pace and give yourself a challenge for the day. So, dial in that intensity, the volume, and the speed at which you're throwing those strikes. That way you can challenge you to your skill level. That helps find that flow zone where we're not pushing too hard, we're not taking it too easy, and we can continue to make progress and give ourselves that break that we deserve in between, not overworking and winding up with more anxiety. I want to aim for that flow zone. So, also, to keep the focus on mental health, remember to visualize that opponent in front of you and assign it the name of the thing you want to work on. If it is depression or anxiety, make that opponent your depression dummy or your anxiety dummy. And we're going to knock the lies right out of their stupid faces. Because as a matter of fact, every day that we fight forwards, we get stronger. And that depression dummy gets weaker and weaker. We're using his own tools against him. Let's do this thing. We'll have some fighting spirit of the 80s coming through the boom bats. And we're going to get right into it. Boom. 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 Let's go metal beat. Kind of feeling the metal beat today. There it is. If you like these tunes, feel free to train to them for free through Spotify. Just search artist@sacklifeofficial.com and let me know what you think. I worked really hard on it. So I hope you enjoy it. Alright, pop into stance, Muay Thai position. I'm going to put my gloves on, like I said, to give myself that challenge. Continue increasing that challenge for myself as my skill level goes up so I don't fall into boredom. Guard high by the brow line, right? Tuck the chin, curl the hips, curl the shoulders. Let's start from basic Muay Thai stance, that balanced Muay Thai stance, and toss some jab cross. Jab cross and back to stance. Guard high, chin tucked. Step in for the jab, twisting through the shoulders and hips, rotate through for the cross, and then back to stance. Remember to turn the fists over and visualize that opponent as you're knocking those lies out of that depression dummy's face. Bum, bum. Exhale out the mouth with each strike. Drive those fists down that center line, keeping the head tucked, and your stance nice and balanced. Stepping forwards for the jab, rotate through for the cross. Alright, now we're going to start working on that long guard. So, we're switching up our guard. Our footwork's going to stay the same, but we're switching up our guard, bringing the shoulder up, right? Shoulder rolls up, fist goes out, probing forwards. This hand comes back to defend the head. You're going to have to use that to block incoming jab, crosses, or anything that's coming to the side of your head. So you want to keep that defense nice and tight. And now with the long guard, continue to move. Keep a little bit of bend in that elbow. And visualize that target. Visualize moving closer and further away and getting close enough to almost touch that target's face. Once you're there, you know you can reach them with the cross. Go ahead and fire off a cross. Woof! Rotate it on that rear foot. Guard comes back to the head when you're firing. And then right back to long guard. Boom. Keep that lead fist out, creating a good opportunity to conceal footwork and create a blind spot for your opponent, right? Keep that long guard out, get it in his face, in his vision. Once his vision is blocked, we're gonna twist through, boom, and clock him with that cross. Chin tucked, shoulder rolled, long guard out. Step forwards and rotate through, whoosh, to the cross, bang. Put that fist inside that depression dummy's face. Let's go, long guard. Step in close and cross. Back to stance. Keep the guard high, return to normal guard, and keep your movement going. Shifting forwards and backwards, front foot to back foot. Keep those knees bent, right? Stance nice and balanced. And long guard here. Step forwards, and this time, remember to keep a little bit of bend, right? A little bit of bend in that elbow. We're gonna step forwards and extend that long guard into a jab. Twist through the shoulders, exaggerate that shoulder movement. And you can get some extra distance out of that shot and surprise them with a jab they thought couldn't reach it. Guard high, long guard on the opposite side. Step forwards for the jab and extend. Small step forwards on the front foot. Twist through the shoulders. Fully extend that fist. Bam. Pop them with the long guard jab. That's the end of round one. Catch your breath. Drink some water. Check in on you. Shout out to Reed Brickman. Thank you for your support out there. We got 51 seconds. Make sure as you train you're breathing in the nose and out the mouth. We're going to switch into southpaw for the next one so I can balance out that long guard training and get those muscles working evenly. Remember again, if you are adding weight, make sure you're going slow with the punches and focusing on form and technique as opposed to power. We don't want to throw out or hyperextend arms or elbows or joints. We got 22 seconds and we're popping back into it. Shout out to Kayla X, thank you for being here as well. Ooh. Slip those hands in if you got gloves and you're dialing up intensity. Pop them on now, we got 10 seconds. And we're gonna go into southpaw position now. So in southpaw, your dominant hand is now gonna be in front. Everything is mirrored. We'll go with standard southpaw position here first, nice and balanced, Muay Thai. Step in for the jab. Small step on the front foot, right? Twisting through the shoulders and hips. Follow up with the cross, boom. And then back to stance, guard high. Continue in southpaw. Don't switch back to orthodox now. For round two, we'll stay in southpaw. Jab cross. And inhale through the nose, exhale through the mouth. Jab cross, keep it going. Jab cross. Jab cross. Jab cross. Jab cross. Keep the guard high, chin tucked. Hips curled, nice and balanced. Remember, square the hips and shoulders with that visualized target and keep the guard high. Jab cross, jab cross, jab cross. Couple things, you could close up that guard here if people are going in for the straights, for those straight shots, close that guard up. But never conceal your vision. Always keep a space so you can see that opponent. Get close, step in for the jab cross, whoosh, whoosh, and back out. Guard high. Balanced Muay Thai stance here. Jab cross. And back to stance. Keep it moving. And we're going long guard now. So for long guard and southpaw, a dominant hand's going to extend out front. We're going to keep the guard back here, ready to parry in the front, ready to slip. Boom, boom. Slip on either side for the shots, for those kicks. We're keeping that long guard extended. Shoulder rolled up. For a little bend left in that elbow. Now we're going to step in for a jab. Step in. Full extension. Step in, full extension. Keep the guard high on the opposite side. And back. Roll that shoulder to protect the chin and tuck the chin in. Boom. That adds defense on the side that's no longer protected by your hand. Keep that enemy at a distance with the long guard and keep that footwork moving. Keep that pace going. Step in for the jab. Whoosh. And back to stance. Now, set up the distance. Find your distance. Conceal their vision with that long guard. And deliver a cross, a nice powerful cross here. Whoosh, twisting through the shoulders. Bringing that opposite hand back as you rotate on that rear foot. Power cross right through their face. Back to stance, back to long guard. Keep your pacing, keep it going. Nice and easy. We're gonna set up that cross, right? Set it up, find that distance, and twist through. Whoosh, boom. Cross right in the face of that depression dummy. Guard high, keep it moving. Step forwards for the jab extension. Boom, full jab. And follow it up with the cross. Whoosh. Right there, rotate on that rear foot. And back to stance. Guard high. Back to normal. Southpaw stance. Still stay in southpaw. Step in for the jab cross. Whoosh, whoosh. Jab cross. Whoosh, whoosh. Guard high, chin tuck. Jab cross. And now long guard. Boom, long guard here. Guard stays high on the opposite hand. And step in for the jab. Whoosh! Rotate through for the cross. Bam! Right there. That is the end of round 2. Catch your breath. Drink some water. We're going to bring that teep in that we talked about earlier. And we'll practice that in the 3rd round. And try to put everything together in a little bit of a flow-based routine. Ooh, 46 seconds to go. Let's see if I can put these gloves on. Will I do it? Can I? Success! Woo, stay hydrated out there, very important. And again, if you're using gloves to up that intensity, make sure you're not throwing full extension, make sure you're not throwing full power. Just focus on technique so that you can build those muscles, build that muscle memory, and practice that form. Shout out to Ella, Bridget, thank you for joining as well. Guard high, we're gonna pop back into orthodox position now, and we're gonna use that long guard again. We'll start developing the teep, lead teep on both sides, switching back and forth between southpaw. So, to Muay Thai position, standard, chin tucked, nice and balanced. Shifting that weight around, we're going long guard with the lead hand. And we're gonna use this hand to set up our teep. We're gonna kind of block their vision with that lead hand. And then once we're close enough, we don't have to touch them with this hand because our legs are our longest range tool. Once we're close enough that we can almost touch them with that hand, that's when it's time to conceal their vision, right? Get that glove in the face, in the way of their eyes and their line of sight, and bring that lead teep up. Whoosh, and drive through the hip, letting the shoulders go back, the hip goes forwards, that rear foot falls flat for support, and we're driving that foot forwards right into center mass. Back to stance, guard high, orthodox position, long guard. Block their vision with that long guard. Bring the knee up, whoosh, drive that teep in. Exhaling hard through that strike, letting the shoulders go back as the hips go forwards. Square it up, square up hips and shoulders with that opponent. Switch to long guard, keep them at a distance, right? Little bit of bend in that elbow so you can still work the jab if you needed to. Long guard here, conceal their vision, and lead teep, whoosh, and back. Lead teep again, whoosh, and back. Practice getting that glove there in their face, leaving it there until you've got that teep lined up, and then chop it as you drive the hips forward to maintain balance. Use that glove as a counterweight. Guard high, long guard position, and lead teep, whoosh, back to stance, lead teep, whoosh, back to stance. Chin tucked as well will help with balance, keeping it centered. Visualize that opponent, visualize the face of that target. Long guard to block their vision, lead teep, whoosh, and back, lead teep, whoosh, and back. Switch it over to southpaw if you're advanced. Long guard position, lead teep from the opposite side. It's the same thing, just from the opposite side here. Whoosh, and back. One more, long guard, conceal their vision with that lead glove, and lead teep, whoosh, back to stance. Exhaling hard through that strike. Again, keeping the chin tucked, shoulder rolled. The hand chops when you're ready to fire those hips forwards. Everything works in unison. Long guard here, block their vision, and lead teep, whoosh, and back to stance. Lead teep, whoosh, and back to stance. Guard high. Let's switch it back to orthodox and mix it up. Step in for the jab cross. Pop, pop. Long guard. Set up the cross. Long guard cross. Whoosh. Back to stance. Keep the long guard. Work that lead teep. Whoosh. There it is. Swap it over. Southpaw. Long guard. Lead teep. Whoosh. Back to stance. Long guard. Jab. Whoosh. And that's the end of round 3. All right. I feel myself working. Feel like these gloves really did make a difference in driving that intensity up, turning it into a better workout for those muscles, building that muscle memory, building those new connections. Remember, if it's your first day, probably don't do this on your first day. It's a lot of technical stuff at this point. We're 805 days in to progress out here. But if you are a beginner and you're just starting out, check out Wednesdays and Sundays, Superhuman Sunday, Waterflow Wednesday. They're low intensity classes. I try and gear them more towards to be more beginner friendly. And then if you'd like to catch up to where we are now, there's over 400 episodes, over 500 episodes saved online. We got like 400 on our IGTV training series and over 100 episodes on the YouTube Sack Life Daily, one word, training series there. So you can catch those on YouTube anonymously at your own discretion, even on a TV, cell phone, any device that tunes into YouTube. You don't have to support or follow the cause, though I really would appreciate it if you do support. It's the only way I'm going to be able to keep this thing sustainable, is if we can all support each other with follows, and that way I can find businesses to support us monetarily. So we can keep creating more free mental health care for others in need. Shout out to Dania. Thank you for being here as well. And to everybody tuned in, support one another out there. Thank you so much. Until next time, I'll catch you guys same sack time, same sack channel, same sack life. Sack man out.